Hey, we're back with the fourth episode of Battlefront 2 Possible Heroes and Reinforcements. Took another little break from doing these because I had hard times using new heroes, and if you know, I've been busy with real life stuff. So yeah, I really enjoy doing these type of videos despite them not getting many views, but you know what? A lot of things don't get a lot of views when you first do them, so eventually I expect that as time goes on and the more I put out of these, they'll get views. Just a reminder of the factors I'm going to use in order to determine if the character has a chance of being added. This is only canon material and no legend stuff. First, there is the lore. This is a small summary of their backstory. I won't be doing an entire lore episode. There are plenty of channels for that. I mean plenty. Second, what type of season they could appear in. We know Disney, EA, and DICE plan to do seasons of content instead of the standard DLC way. Last Jedi season has ended, and we're going to move into the second season. Preferably soon. I think it's going to start in February. That's my idea. Third, we have gameplay and abilities. A well thought out way that these heroes or reinforcements could play out and what kind of abilities they could have. I won't be going into like every single star card they could have, but you know, just the base abilities. Fourth, we have likeliness to be added. This is a factor I thought would be interesting to cover, as it would be a number out of 10 of their likeliness of being added to the game. So that number is, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It can vary in what I think. Now that doesn't mean it's true. So for today's episode, we have a hero, sort of. The character I chose today is from the new Marvel comic line. Well, the movies, in my opinion, have been pretty meh. And the characters of the movies, at least the main characters, there are several background characters I do find more interesting. The comics have added some new and interesting characters. I don't know if the overall story, I haven't actually read any of the stories of the comics. The only Star Wars comic I ever read was a one by Dark Horse, and it's like one of their Empire ones, and I thought it was pretty good. So I don't know how Marvel's doing. I haven't been to a comic shop for probably 7 years, maybe. So the hero we have is the Eternal Rur. I think that's how you say it. Rur. I don't know. An ancient Jedi who belonged to a fringe group of Jedi called the Ordu Aspectu. The Ordu was wiped out, and I'm not going to go into more detail than that. Go by the comic or something. But the Rur Jedi eventually got his consciousness put into this weird green crystal, I guess. That's all I could read about it, but yeah. The crystal was then put into this droid. He wields 2 different lightsabers. One of them is, both of them are kind of very unique. The one has a, not really a crossguard like Kylo's. It's kind of like, you'll see it in the picture. It's like, sort of like pointing upwards. Kind of looks kind of neat. This droid Jedi can control other mechanical devices around him, and he fought Darth Vader at one point. And he did lose to Vader, technically, even though he didn't destroy the crystals, so I don't know. He's still technically there. That is some of his lore. Now onto the season that he could appear in. Well, this is a hard one because he's a comic book character. I guess if DICE wanted to do a comic season, he could fit in. I can't think of anything more than that. I don't know. Can you think of anything that a character that's only appeared in a comic could go into? Commander Bragg only appeared in one video game, but I at least thought if he could come in Star Wars Uprising DLC, an Annuate Sector DLC, Outer Rim DLC, you could do with him. A lot of stuff you could do with Commander Bragg. So now on to his abilities. The character is rather unique, being a crystal and a droid that acts like a Jedi. Sort of like Grievous in a way, but not really, because Grievous is a cyborg, whereas this is kind of a mystic, cybernetic being. Not really sure where you'd classify the Eternal Rur. Since he is a droid, I say we give him some type of scan move. That's able to see enemies around him. Like it pulses maybe 3, 4, 5 times. Shows enemies around him. Maybe you can get more or less. Maybe you can, I don't know, come up with something that would go with a scan ability. Like Boba Fett's For the Hunt. I know one of the star cards extends the time, and I think another one lets your teammates see them. So for the second ability, we're going to go with a Saber Frenzy. Since the Eternal Rur dual wields weapons, he should definitely have it like a Saber Frenzy where he just like slashes like crazy like all around him. Or maybe a spin move. A spin move would be pretty cool. That's a good trick. For his final move, since the Eternal Roar has the ability to control machines around him, and he doesn't have actual force powers like Force Push, Force Lightning, Force Choke, all that type of stuff, he should be able to control enemies' equipment around him. Like it's an aura that would come out, and like around this aura, like any equipment that you throw at him, like a grenade, a stun grenade, a turret, all of this would then like become on his side. And so it's not overpowered, and you know that that he did this to your equipment. It should turn green because he has like this green glow that emanates out of his like crystal. Really cool looking. I think this is a really cool character. Yeah. Finally, we have his likeliness of being added. It's a good 2 out of 10. Yeah, 2 out of 10. That's all. That's probably the highest I'd give him. Well, I enjoy learning about all these new comic characters, as they're not mainstream. They're not going to be added to a game unless they get their own game. You know, like I said, they're not mainstream heroes. They're comics, and very few Star Wars fans even, care about the comics. I remember reading on the Star Wars Battlefront forums that, it's like, why is Leia wearing the wrong costume? It's like, oh, it's from the comics. And everybody's like, who cares about the comics or the books? And, you have other people, it's like, I don't want anything from the comics. You have people that don't even want stuff from the Clone Wars TV show. They want movies only. But even though that's not the canon. Canon's now movies, comics, TV shows, books, and all that type of stuff. So yeah. Don't expect stuff from the comics. A lot of stuff. I mean, Leia's outfit's probably the biggest thing you're going to get from the comic books. Not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that, if DICE continues to support this game, 2 years from now, or a year and a half from now, I'm going to say that, they might do a comic season, but don't expect it within probably the next year. Because I expect we're going to get a lot of Clone Wars stuff. We're going to get a lot of original trilogy stuff. We're going to get movies. It's definitely going to be mostly movie stuff. And then maybe once all the movies are done, then we might get some random stuff. But I don't think that comics are going to be a very big deal. Alright, tell me what you think. Next episode is definitely going to be in Reinforcement. I just wanted to get 2 heroes and 2 villains out. Yeah. Bye.
Current support online. Let's go. Separatist leader is on the ground. All of us support to fight. Move on.